Welcome back. Glad you guys are joining me today. Listen, today I want to talk about pornography. Yeah. It's funny. It's a word we don't really doesn't come up a whole lot in our vocabulary other than maybe the search tabs that we might throw in. I know I've been there. But that's the thing. What is pornography all about? What's kind of happening when our brain is unconscious and we're doing our thing and we're letting one go? What's really going on behind in the big picture, right? The pornography industry as of 2018 is worth over or up to $97 billion, right? That is over 9 times larger than Netflix, and that is about 5 times larger than the video game industry. And I was doing some research on it earlier, and it's really weird. It's actually not too surprising, honestly, that usually the female actors they get paid like over 8 times more than the men do, and it's a very twisted thing that's going on here. And I truly believe that it is the castration of the 21st century's generations. You go up to any person, let's say any individual over the age of 40 or 50, probably over 50, and you try to have this conversation. That's why so many people, young people, especially like me, and a couple of very close people that I know, are afraid to, if we have trouble, we're afraid to let this out to our parents, right? Because they we love them, right? But they don't understand, right? It's not something one really can fully understand because we've never really seen anything like this. We've never really seen anything so, and it's very, I'm almost expressionless because of how just unique this situation is in our society. What is the difference between a bull, right, full of strength, vitality, healthy, and an oxen who strolls about and does the work for their master? One has been castrated and one has not been. One has had its balls chopped off and one has not. Let you do the guesswork from there. But the point is it is draining us. I hold the belief that the sexual energy is sacred. It is literally, when you put it into context and when you think about it, it is life creating. When you have that seed, the seed and the fertilization meet, it creates life. That is how I'm here. That is how you're here. And it's a beautiful. It is something that God created. And it's something to keep the race going. And it's really a beautiful thing. But I feel like a lot of people, Christians, non-Christians alike, wherever you come from, there's this constant shame in it just because of what has happened to it, where it's gone, where there's this constant shame in it. Marcus Aurelius, perhaps one of the best, most well-known emperors, one of the most best-known Stoic philosophers of his time, he practiced something. I'm gonna go in here. He practiced something that was different than most of the other emperors of his time. Most of them were, sleeping around till like, till the midday, and it was very rare for people really to do that a lot. They would get up at the crack of dawn, right? Sun's up, you're up, that kind of thing. They'd be drinking, they'd be sleeping around with women. More than one at a time, usually. And it was crazy, but Marcus Aurelius was different. He knew better. And he said, this is not the way. This is not the way that we are called to go. We are called to something better, to better ourselves, to be better, to look at nature, right? The practice of being sexual creatures is to further our race, right? Not to sit around all day and just letting it slide, right? Just letting it go. This is probably for some people watching for a Christian channel, like, whoa, dude, this is a little much, man. You're being a little explicit there. Yes, I am. And that's what we need to be. And especially coming from the Christian community and what we hold and what we believe, it is not talked about ever. And I'm sick of it, man. It's one of these things that I don't know if it's a quote that somebody has said or whatnot, but I always say that fear, when silence is prevalent, the silence breeds fear. The silence breeds fear, and the fear breeds silence, and it's a cycle. And that's exactly what this is. The more we are silent about it and act like it's so shameful to do, the more of a problem it will become. And it's terrible, man. It's terrible. So I just want to encourage you, just to take away from this, maybe a new perspective on kind of what it is, what it's all about. I know for me, for the longest time, it was, I didn't think it was even that big of a deal, right? I just thought, well, as long as you're not having, because, the Bible's very clear that you're not to have sex before marriage, right? That's kind of a no-no. And so for me, it was like, well, if you're not doing that, I'm not doing that, it's fine. I kind of wanted to, I tried so hard to justify it, but I then later came to the realization, why am I trying so hard? Whenever I hear the word porn, I'm just like, whoa, just kind of like, well, maybe not to that extent, but I'm just kind of, I just freeze for a second. And when I came to that realization that that's what I do, that's my reaction, I'm like, okay, I gotta stop. There's so many cans out here. I'm not sure what's up with that. But it's just, it was kind of like a wake-up call. When you really snap out of it just because of one word like that, that was it for me. And it's a very twisted kind of view of, it's not just the, what am I trying to say? It's not just the, it would almost be, I believe, now I'm not trying to say you should go out and do this, but I believe that it is more damaging to, over a long period of time, to watch pornography than it is to actually be sleeping around with a bunch of people. I believe in a form that is true. And I say that because you're watching people do it from this third person perspective, and it's just, it's pretty messed up. If it wasn't messed up already, it certainly is now. When I think about that, I'm like, you're like this, you're not even a participant at this point. You're an observer. It's weird. I think that pretty much concludes everything I want to say. And if you're watching this, I'm glad you stopped by. This is something very important to me, And let me know in the comments if you want to see kind of more of this. This is, I'm kind of a little bit of rambling at this point, but like I've said before, it's it's a problem. It's a problem, and there's no, for a lot of people, there's no way out. It's just kind of like, for so many people with so many different issues, not even just talking about this, but with so many issues, it's like, well, this is the only way, this is all I know, this is all I've ever known, this is it. And it's like, no, it's not. There is always another way. There is always something bigger. Some people say we are limitless. Some people say we have limits. I believe we have limits, but they are generally always exponentially higher than what we think they are. Stopping my addiction, and it's kind of like the same thing with maybe like smoking or like other habits that maybe aren't so good for you. It's like when you're in that state, you're like, I'm not really addicted. I can control it. I enjoy it, But I think when we come to that place where we have to constantly justify that we're not addicted, that we don't have a problem, that's when we have a problem. Okay? That's when we have a problem. So if you're in that place, that's, like I said, I think I'm at this point, probably almost a year of being clean from this stuff. I just, I've had a couple slip-ups here and there, but I've stayed on the path. That's what's important. So like I said, I encourage you, comment in the comments section, kind of where you're at, what's going on. And then me and some of the other members of the Brethren will be able to be there for you, just inspire you or congratulate you wherever you're at. That's what I want, is a place where you can be open, and that we can connect and we can help each other out. That's what we're here for. That's what we're called to do. Okay? I think that's all I've got for today. You've been served. God bless.